Hey, hello everybody, welcome back to another tutorial of mine. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to model a katana, or this can work for any type of sword, but I'm going to model a katana in Studio only, not in Blender. This is Studio only. This will take some time, so I'm gonna cut a lot of parts and speed up a lot of parts, but uh, yeah, basically, I'll put a couple of images on the screen right now as an example of how it's gonna look. Uh, and so yeah, basically, we're going to make that. So for starters, the main values we're going to use is in move 0.25 and in rotate 22.5. That's what I find best when working at big scales because it's going to be a detailed tool. So we're gonna start off with big scales and then slowly make it and then basically finish it while it's big and then scale it back down to the size for a player. So you're gonna first take a part, make it as small as you can, and then we're going to make the main outline of the weapon. So you're also going to need a wedge. We're mostly going to use basically only going to use wedges and parts, no cylinders. That's this specific style. But yeah, so you basically try to imitate what I'm doing. So if while this is going, as you can see, let me just when I start to build up the shape, you can see it more clearly. You can see more of a nicer shape like this. Let me double check if it is the same size. Yeah, it's the same size. So as you can see, it's slowly becoming more into a kind of like handle-ish shape, roundish and everything, while still not being used with any cylinders. I think this is a good shape, so when you get your shape, that main shape down, we're going to create the shape of the actual blade, because this is the same on each side. So you can simply copy this, then you move these two up, and then we're going to create the tip. This is the dull, this is the dull part, the top. And now we're going to round it off using more wedges. See, you get a nice round looking shape. It doesn't matter if it's like this, slightly bigger, that doesn't matter. Yeah, okay, so I'm happy with this shape. So this is going to be the shape of the blade and the scabbard, if you're going to make a scabbard. I'll also show you how to make that. But this is going to be the shape of the blade, this is going to be the shape of the handle. So now you simply can make it a union if you like. I'm going to keep it as a union because now I can do this. to make it easier instead of, yeah, to basically make it easier, I'm gonna duplicate it. I'm going to keep this as a fallback for if I make an accident, if I do something wrong on accident, I'll have these as backup. And so basically this, as you can see, is exactly one. It can go smaller. It's precisely based on this. 1 second. So in my feeling, I like to make it 2 times, and we're going to go to rotate and simply, oh, let me change the rotation value. I will change it to 5. Yeah, 5 works nice. Don't mind the gap when you're going, when it's smaller. You can see this. I'll make it smaller. You're not really gonna notice it. If you want to remove the gap, you can even lower this rotation value even more and be more precise, like let's say 2.5. I always recommend working at values of 5, like 2.5 times 2 is 5. It's basically easier than, let's say, using values of 2, because then you're gonna get 2, 4, 8. It's always better to have round numbers than not having it. You can also work at 2.5. You can see it's nicer. So I'm gonna continue with this because I already have it. And so this is basically going to be those straps you see on the handle of the blade. You can simply select this and then duplicate this and pick a seizable gap, because as in actual katanas you always have those small gaps between them. So pick a gap which you think is about the right size. I'm gonna go with a bit of a bigger gap. So now we have this gap, so you can keep following this gap. And as you can see, the shape of the handle is slowly getting set into place. And we're going to import a dummy so we can have a more accurate scaling. So copy this, group it so it's not as laggy, then scale it down to a decent size that you think it will end up in, and then look at how big it is. Okay, this is not big enough yet, so I'm going to copy more. I think maybe 2 more is fine for now. Seems like a good amount. I'll scale it back down. Two seems to be a nice amount. Yeah, this seems to be a nice amount. But I will again add maybe 1 more just in case. Okay, so now I have the straps of the handle. Now we're going to make the inside of it. You simply hold control, then do this and drag it up here, and then all the way again here, and make sure it's the same size. And now we have the insides basics of the handle. For the end of the handle, you can simply copy this part again. I like to make it small like this, and that's basically the end. If you want, you can make it a bit thicker. And give it more like this is the actual end. Maybe a bit bigger too. Yeah, that's fine. So you can now copy the same part that you use as the end and paste it in the front. And now we're going to make the guard. So for the guard, you go slowly. I like to make it a bit even, keep it even, slowly increase the values, make it bigger. This is a, I think this is a bit too big, but let me just check just in case. We're going to make the Japanese style. Yeah, it's way too big for the handle, so I'm going to make it smaller again. A bit smaller maybe. This is a nice size, yeah. So I'm going to do the same again. I'll do it like this. And this looks way nicer. More of the better size and everything. I'm going to copy it again and scale it back down. Oh, that's a bit too small. Yeah, this seems about a nice size. I'm also going to add more depth to the end by simply copying and doing this. And now I'm going to union this so it's not so it stops glitching out. And then I'm going to copy this again, paste this over here, make it a bit smaller. And now we're going to use this one, the blade one, because now we're at the blade. So I'll make this also a bit smaller. Oh, give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, never mind. You can just delete this. I'm going to use it without that one. So this is going to be the golden part of the blade that you always see at the beginning of the blade, and then you simply copy it again and then make it one smaller. And now you can start working on the blade. As you can see, if you want, you can copy it again, make it small again to see how sharp the blade is going to look. A bit bigger. If you want to know how big, the handle should be about the same size as the full length of the arm. I like to do it in that size. This seems nice and sharp. I'm going to keep it like this. Ungroup this again, and now we're going to work on the blade. The blade is going to be a bit tricky, but the more times you work on it, the easier it's going to get. So yeah, basically you can, let me try if this actually works. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to use the Archimedes plugin for this one. I'll if I can find it, I'll link it in the description. It's a free plugin. It's super easy to use. As you can see, it automatically places stuff for you. So I'm basically going to use this. I used to manually change the pivot point to fit the way I wanted it to be, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. That's way too much effort. So yeah, as you can see, my cat. So as you can see it, because the katana always has those blades going slightly up, we're going to do that. I noticed that the blade is a bit too small yet, so I'm going to increase it in length. Keep in mind, don't make it too big, because we're going to use about 3 parts, and so it's going to look unnaturally long. As you can see, it's already pretty long. I'm happy with this. I'm going to render it, and as you can see, you got the slight curve, no gaps in between. If it's glitching on your part, that's fine. You can union these two together at the end of the tutorial, because when we're going to texture the weapon, it will glitch out no matter what. So, but that's for later, because we're going to use. Yeah, we're going to what we're now going to do, because this is the second part. The third part I like to use as the blade. So make it small, nice and small, not too small. And this is going to be the size that we're using. So you copy this and make a bit more of a drastic turn upwards, and then you can simply do that. And I think you can see kind of see a bladish shape come up. But before I fix this part, I'm going to check again to see if it is the right size, because I don't want a katana that has a where the blade is too small. I don't want that. Let me make it smaller again. The blade seems to be slightly smaller. As a simple, easy fix, simply select the blade like this. Make sure to select this part as last. Drag it a couple of parts forward and simply drag it back like this. As you can see, nothing's changed, and with these, maybe a bit longer to give that extra reach. Okay, I think this is fine. Let me check it again. Oh, that's a bit too small. Bit too small. This seems like a better size. The blade is still too small for my liking, so I'm going to delete this, and the extended part that I made taller. Oh, I'm gonna use Archimedes again to increase the size. 2, and then duplicate this part, make it a bit smaller than I did before, and now we can do it again. I still don't like the looks of this. I'm going to use Archimedes again and go back to 2. I'm going to render a third part, and I'm going to shorten it. Yeah, this looks way nicer. So same like I did before. Copy this part. I'll make it a bit of the same size, and then I'll use 8. This looks way nicer, yeah. So now the tricky part comes into place. This part, you're going to have to separate it, so it's not a union again. And now we're going to have to use the union and negate in order to delete this to make a sharp edge, yeah. So first of all, like this. As you can see, it doesn't match the same values because we made this part slightly smaller than the original part, so it doesn't meet the actual values. But that's fine. That's perfectly okay. And one by one, we're going to scale it up like this. And as you can see, this is what the blade is going to look like. So you want to negate this and select each part except the part that you separated and union it. Okay, if you get this code, now it's a bit more complicated because you're slowly going to have to do the steps. Selected ones. No, what? What was the message? Okay, let me check. Oh wait, yeah. I think we can union all of this. Yeah. Okay. So I unioned it all. If you still have issues, try to slowly do it, but it should union. If you actually still have, what I meant to say was, if you still have issues, do it. It's going to take way longer, but you have to do one part, so one of these parts at a time with the part. And now, once you have done that, as you can see, you get this sharp curve. So now but you have this thick part, so we're going to remove the thick part by dropping it on the next piece, this curved wedge, and simply move it across, make it a bit thicker if you'd like, negate it, and select only this again and union it. Okay then, I don't know why it has that message. Okay, I'm going to separate this, and because I still have the issues, I'm going to slowly make an attempt at. Was it possibly because I got subtitled away? What happens if I? Yeah. Let me try this again. Yeah, okay, now it works. So as you can see, it looks way smoother now. So we're going to do that again, but we're going to drop down one part again, union it, and now let's see. Yeah, now we fixed this part. Now we do the same on the opposite side. Yeah, okay, now we have this left, the big part. Again, do the same. And as you can see, we now have a nice shape of the blade. And if you're worried about this, you do not have to worry. Let me show you. I'll select the entire blade, scale it down again, as you can see, you barely even notice this. It's no issue at all. If you are a perfectionist, you can simply do the same what I did here. Take a piece and then put it like this, and then manually select one by one to remove this, but it's way too much effort for way little reward. It's not worth it at all. Don't do it. You can check again if you have any imperfections. You can see a nice sharp point again, nice and sharp. And now we can texture everything. So we're going to union all these parts of the blade together. So, and now this is one solid piece, so it can have the same color and same texture and everything. Also, don't forget to select all the parts, because it's a union. We have to manually select use part color, so it uses, so you can change the color of it. So we're gonna make it more white and change the material to metal. I don't like this, so I'm gonna make it more white. Yeah, that's nicer. You can see the nice shading on it. It looks nice. I'm going to make this also a metal and make it gold. Let me find a nicer gold. Yeah, okay, it's not, maybe wait. Okay, I'll keep it on this one. I'm going to make the color of this more, more dark. And I'm going to change it to, oh yeah, let me also change, I prefer the old materials, so I'm going to change it again. Because I'm going to change it to wood to give it a more wooden look. I really like that look. And this part, I'm going to make it the same color as this metal again, and then the same color cast shadow on. Same color, yeah. And the back, I'm going to make it a metal, but I'm going to give it a darker color. The inside, you can either use pebbles or wood. I will go with wood for this tutorial. I'm going to go with wood, make it white again, then select everything and deselect the other parts, so you only have the bands, the straps. Wood again, and let's say red. Okay, yeah, but let me change this to pebbles maybe. Rock here, pebble. Make it a bit darker, not too dark. Yeah, I like the look of this. And copy it, and oh, let me just add a part like this to it, and then group it. I'll make this transparent again, group it, and then select this part and wait, model, and then primary part. No, primary part. Let me call this a, so I can find it. Yeah. So now it follows the box of this, so it isn't at a angle. And this is it. This is a nice 3D katana, all made in Studio. If you, this was a quick tutorial. This was my quickest build so far. If you want way more detail, it's going to take way longer. If you want to make the scabbard, I almost forgot the scabbard. You simply select this entire thing. Wait. No, you can select this and drag it until the edge where it starts to go up. It goes up around here, so I'll change it to a darker color, not that dark. Wood, because wood looks good. Yeah, this is a nice, I'll also change this one to that one, yeah. I'll make this slightly bigger than that piece, so it gives again more depth, and I'll use the Archimedes plugin to match the same value. Yep, boom, and then boom, and then you can simply drag this like this. And that's how you basically make the scabbard. If you want a rounded tip, you can well, I don't know how you can try to use unions to make it. It's way too complicated. You can just simply make a square tip by doing this. Give it a also more depth. If you want those bands that the katana has on the scabbard, you can do the same technique here, except on this place, and that's it. Yeah, that's all. That's all you need. You can also basically use this part again instead of the rounded part. You use this part because it's on the blade, and then you do the same technique here with that, and then you can change the color of it to make those bands. But that's basically it. That's basically everything. I'm going to make it look nicer. I'll keep it at one band. Okay, and I'll basically publish this one on my Discord. I'll publish the entire studio, so you can access it at this scale. I'll publish this entire studio. It's free to use. You can use it. You can use it for whatever you like animations in your own game. Feel free to use it, but I would like some credit, of course. If you make drastic changes, like change the entire blade shape, let's say, yeah, then you don't have to take credit. But yeah, if you want to use this exact model, even if you just recolor it, please give me some credit. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for the tutorial. My next tutorial is going to be my advanced tool system. I'll maybe publish that next week. Yeah, that's it. See you in my next video. Bye.